In the forensic world, we talk about chain of custody. We track the movement of evidence, we track the debris field, we track the wreckage. For the past 2 weeks, we have been obsessed with the path of a Citation 500 jet. We have mapped its trajectory from the runway to the tree line. We have calculated its speed, its angle, and its tragic final destination. But while investigators were tagging pieces of twisted metal in the mud of Statesville, another trajectory was unfolding across America. This trajectory didn't end in fire. It ended in the hands of a child. It wasn't propelled by jet fuel. It was propelled by a 68-cent postage stamp, and it carries a weight that no black box can record. Imagine opening your mailbox on a cold Tuesday morning. The holidays are over, the Christmas tree is coming down. The news on the TV is playing the same tragic loop. NASCAR legend Greg Biffle and family killed in plane crash. You feel the heaviness in your chest. The entire community of North Carolina is in mourning. You sift through the junk mail, a bill, a flyer, and then you see it. A letter addressed to your daughter from Santa Claus. But you recognize the handwriting. It's distinctive, elegant, warm. It's the handwriting of Christina Biffle, the woman whose funeral is being planned right now. The woman who died 48 hours ago. Your heart stops. The world goes silent. You are holding a ghost. You are holding a time capsule from a future that never happened. This is not a story about how they died. We have analyzed the physics of the crash enough. This is the story of the 2,500 final gifts that kept traveling long after the hearts that created them had stopped beating. To understand the weight of these letters, we have to understand the culture of Race City, USA, Mooresville, and Charlotte, North Carolina. In the high-octane world of NASCAR, the drivers are the gladiators. They are the ones in the spotlight, turning left at 200 miles per hour, soaking in the glory of victory lane. But behind every great driver, there is the NASCAR wife. And in this community, that title isn't just about standing on the pit box looking pretty, it's a job description. It involves philanthropy, community building, and being the glue that holds the family together while the husband is chasing championships across the country 38 weeks a year. Christina Biffle was the epitome of this spirit. She wasn't just Greg Biffle's wife, she was a force of nature in her own right. Friends describe her as salt of the earth. She had that southern hospitality that makes you feel like family 5 minutes after meeting her. While Greg was dealing with crew chiefs and sponsors, Christina was dealing with the heart of the home, and her favorite season was Christmas. For the Biffle family, Christmas wasn't just a holiday, it was a mission. Christina understood something profound. The magic of childhood is fragile. It has an expiration date, and she made it her personal duty to extend that magic for as long as possible. She started a tradition that would eventually become her legacy, the Santa letters. This wasn't a corporate PR stunt. She didn't hire an assistant to print out form letters. In an age of emails and text messages, Christina believed in the power of ink on paper. She wanted every child to feel seen. She gathered names, hundreds of them, then thousands, friends' children, fans' children, kids she met at the grocery store. The list grew to over 2,500 names. Imagine the logistics. 2,500 envelopes to lick, 2,500 stamps to place, 2,500 stories to remember. It was a marathon of kindness. And this year, in December 2025, she was running the race of her life. Let's reconstruct the timeline. This is crucial to understanding the emotional impact. Early December 2025. While Greg is likely busy with end-of-season business, Christina is sequestered in her office. Writer's cramp is setting in, but she keeps going. She has a database. She knows that little Avery has a hamster named Sunny. She knows that another child just started ballet. She weaves these details into the letters. Santa is watching you dance. Give Sunny a snuggle for me. These aren't generic platitudes. These are proof of life for a child's imagination. To a 7-year-old, this is irrefutable evidence that magic exists. The pile of letters is ready. They are bundled in crates. The holidays are chaotic. There is packing to do. The trip to the Statesville airport is looming. The Citation jet, N500GH, is being prepped in the hangar. In the midst of packing suitcases and checking weather reports for the flight, Christina makes sure the most important cargo is handled, the letters. They are dropped off at the post office. 2,500 white doves released into the system. The United States Postal Service takes custody. The letters enter the sorting machines. They travel on trucks. They fly on cargo planes. They are in the system. But for many families, the mail is slow during the holiday rush. The Santa letters don't arrive on Christmas Eve. They are delayed. Usually, a late Christmas card is an annoyance. But in this case, the delay was destiny. We have covered the mechanics of this day in our previous episodes. The loud pop, the turn, the trees. When the news broke, a shockwave hit the racing community. Phones lit up across Mooresville. Did you hear? It can't be true. Grief is a heavy fog. It descends instantly. For the friends of the Biffles, the world stopped turning. The King family, close friends of the Biffles, were among those devastated. They were processing the loss of a legend, a friend, a mother, a father. They looked at the empty chairs at the table. The finality of death is what hurts the most. The idea that there will be no more words, no more laughter, no more communication, the book is closed. Or so they thought. The investigation begins. The NTSB arrives. The narrative is controlled by sources, officials, and witnesses. The humanity of the victims is often buried under the debris analysis. We talk about the pilot, the passengers, the souls on board. They become statistics. But the U.S. Postal Service doesn't know about the crash. The automated sorting machines in Charlotte don't watch the news. To the machine, that envelope is just another piece of mail to be delivered. It processes the barcode. It reads the address, Avery King, Charlotte, NC. It puts the letter on a truck, and the truck drives past the very community that is drowning in tears. It's a weekday. The mail carrier walks up the driveway. The mailbox clatters open. The mail is inserted. The flag is put down. Inside the King house, the atmosphere is somber. The grief is still fresh, raw. Someone goes to get the mail, and there it is, a white envelope from Santa. But the return address, the handwriting, it screams Christina. Can you imagine that moment? The cognitive dissonance. Your brain says, she is gone. The object in your hand says, I am here. It's a physical shock, a jolt of electricity. Tears well up immediately. Not tears of joy initially, but tears of disbelief. Is this a prank? Is this a mistake? No, it's the final gift. They sit Avery down. Avery is 10 years old. Old enough to understand death, young enough to still believe in the magic of the season. They open the envelope, the smell of the paper, the texture, and they read, Avery, I can't believe how much you've grown this year. I am so proud of you. Christina's voice echoes in the room. She isn't talking about racing. She isn't talking about planes. She is talking about life. It is so fun to see when you dance. You are quite the little performer. She noticed. In the busy, noisy world of adults, Christina had taken the time to notice a little girl dancing. And then, the kicker. The detail that breaks the dam of emotions. Give Sonny your hamster some love snuggles from me. Sonny the hamster. It's such a small, trivial thing. A pet rodent. But in that sentence lies the entire magnitude of the tragedy. It proved that Christina cared about the micro details of her friends' lives. She didn't just send a generic Merry Christmas. She sent a piece of her heart. For a few minutes, Christina wasn't the victim of a plane crash. She was just Christina, the thoughtful friend, the helper of Santa. She was alive in that room. The King family wasn't alone. Across North Carolina and across the country, mailboxes were opening 2,500 times. 2,500 families experienced this same moment of shock and grace. Social media began to light up. We just got a letter from Christina. I can't believe it. She sent this to my son. We are keeping this forever. It became a phenomenon. The narrative of the crash began to shift. Instead of just seeing images of the broken fuselage in the woods, people started sharing images of these pristine white envelopes. It became a counter-narrative to the tragedy. The fire took their lives. But the fire couldn't burn these letters. They had escaped the crash. They had bypassed the disaster to deliver their message. Psychologists call these linking objects, physical items that connect the bereaved to the deceased. Usually, these are old items, a watch, a shirt, but these letters were different. They were new interactions. They allowed the community to have one last conversation with Christina, one last thank you, one last Merry Christmas. It provided closure where there was none. It reminded everyone that Greg and Christina weren't just the racer and his wife. They were people who loved, and were loved. In the coming days, the NTSB will release their preliminary report. We will go back to analyzing jack screws, fuel loads, and flap angles. We will return to the cold, hard facts of why gravity won that day, but tonight, we pause. We pause to acknowledge a different kind of mechanics. The mechanics of the heart. Christina Biffle didn't know she was writing her final goodbyes. She thought she was just spreading holiday cheer, but that is the lesson, isn't it? We never know which act of kindness will be our last. We never know which letter will be the one they frame and keep forever. Greg Biffle left a legacy of speed, trophies, and championships. Christina Biffle left a legacy of 2,500 envelopes filled with ink and love. Both legacies are powerful, but only one of them managed to make a little girl smile in the darkest week of the year. To the King family and to everyone holding one of those letters, you are not just holding paper, you are holding a piece of her spirit. Keep it safe. And to Christina, wherever you are, the letters were delivered, mission accomplished.